So, hi everyone. Today we will be learning about SQL. Before that, you should know why we need SQL. So, most of the world data is shared in the form of their databases, is shared in databases. So, to create, to transform, to analyze those databases with precise, we need some programming language. So, we can use SQL. So, what is SQL and why we need it? So, SQL is very, very important for becoming a modern data analyst, and you will get to know what it is in this video only. So, be with me. So before that, we should know some basic terms. So what is data? So data can be anything, like anything that you can store. It's data in your system. Okay. Then we will move toward database. So what is database? Database is like a container where you store your data. So we need something to store our data. So that is database. So it's like a container where you store your data. So we have two type of database, relational database and non-relational database. So relational database is the database in which we store data in the form of tables, and non-relational database is the database in which we don't store data in the form of tables. That's it. Now let us move toward database management system. So what is database management system? Before that, you should know something that as a user, we can't directly interact with our databases. So what we have to do then? We have to interact with our database management system first. And then this database management system will goes on backend and will help me to interact with my database. Okay. So as a user, we can't directly interact with my database. I have to interact with my database management system first, and then this will help me to interact with my database. So it's a software application to interact with databases. Okay. Then we should move about the two part. There are two type of relational database management systems. So some of their example are Postgres, Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server that we will be using today. And non-relational database management system examples are MongoDB, if you have ever heard about it. Okay. So what is SQL then? As I told you, as a user, we can't directly interact with my database. I have to interact with my database management system. So I need a programming language for that. So if this database management system is relational database management system. So as a user, to interact with my relational data management system, I need a programming language, right? So SQL is that language. So SQL is a programming language to interact with my relational database management system. I think you get this. Now let us move towards some things, some real type example. For example, I'm working for a company, Forbes. He want to manage the trends of a billionaire. He want to see what's going on. What is the trend of a billionaire? So how can we do it? First, we will create a database. So let's create a database. So to create a database, we will use create database and the database name. So I'm creating a database name as lecture1. Let me create it and let me run this also so that it can be refreshed. And then I want to use also. So I'll use lecture1. So that's how I can use it also. Command completed successfully. You can see that. Now I want to import my table. So I'll run this again. So you can see what tables we are having. Do I have the lecture1 right now? Right now we are not having. Let me refresh it again. So here we get the lecture1. So how can I import it? So to import it, what we have to do, we have to right click over there. Right click over that. Then you will get a tasks option. Click over there. Then you want to import the flat file. So you will import the flat file, put on next. Then browse your file. So here it is. And I want to give a name as, it's a very big name, so I'm making it short. Next, 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 next. So I got this. So it's done. Let us see how my table is looking like. So to see it, I'm using a very simple syntax. Select star from my table. Well, let's see what here we got. If I click over there, you can see I'll get my table name. So it's here. So the spelling of billionaire is Biallai-O-N-A-I-R. Okay. So why I used the syntax. Let me explain this first. So select, I want to select everything. So that's why I'm using star. And from my table, billionaire. That's my table name. I'll run it and then execute it. So that's all my table in this billionaire name and everything is there. So now what my manager want. So my manager want to have only the person name and their net worth. So how can I have it? I'll use a selection clause and then I want to have the person name. So I'll use person name. And what I want to have their net worth, that is final worth. Then I'll write from which table? From my billionaire table. I'll write it from my billionaire table. So let's run it and see, are we getting our answer? Yes, we are getting our answer. Now my manager want to have the person name and their country. So I'll write country over there. So that's how I can have this. Now my manager want to have the count of persons. Like he want to count how many rows are there in my table. So for that I am using a aggregate function. How can I use it? I'll just use count here. Count and this. Let us see how many rows we have. We have around 475 rows. Now what my manager want? My manager want to have the country. You want to have from which country are these billionaires from? So I'll write country here. So let's run it. Are we getting our answer? So yes, but here you can see that things are repeating. I don't want United States to be repeated again and again. I don't want like that. So if I don't want this in repeated form, if I only want the distinct countries, so what I'll use distinct clause. So I'll use distinct here. And if I'll run it, I can have it. If I want to have the count of these distinct countries, then how can I have it? I can just write count and then the distinct countries. And if I want to have the average of net worth of those billionaires, how can I have it? My manager want that. So I will write final worth. So this is the average net worth of those billionaires. I think you get this. Now what my manager want, my manager only want the person who are from country France. So what he only want the person, and let me write country also. From where he is from? France. So I'm giving some condition here. So for that I'll use a where clause, where country equals to France. So if I'll run it, you can see I'll get all those person whose country is France. Now my manager wants that this city should be Paris now. And city should be Paris. Like what he want? He want to have the country France and city should be Paris. So how can I have it? I'll just write a and here. Because I want to fulfill both the condition. That's why. So if I'll run it, you can see country and city Paris. Now my manager want that either the country should be France or my country should be Spain. So what I'll use or country should be Spain because I want to have the either thing. That's why Spain. So let's run it and see. So you get this. But what will be the better option? The better option to use in here. So how to use in? Let me tell you that. So to use in, you will write where country and you will write in. Now you can write how many times you want it to be. Now I have to use or again and again, so it will be very lengthy things, right? So you will write like that. I want France, I want Spain. If I want United Kingdom, United States, I can write that also, United States. And if I run it, now I can write it in a precise form. It either can be from France, Spain, or United States. You can see that. I'll get all the things. Okay. So now what my manager want to have only the self-made billionaires. He only want to have the self-made billionaires. So what condition I have to give? Pause this video and write your answers in the chat box. He wants self-made. If you see in the table, let me run the table for you. You can see that in self-made column 0 and 1 is written. So I want the self-made, so I'll write 1 here. And I got it. I want to have those counts. So I'll use count here. I'll use aggregate function count to have the count. I got my counts. These are 309. Now, my manager wants to order them on the basis of their person's name, like he wanted in an alphabetical order. So what he'll do? Order by person name. So let's run it. Either we are getting our answer or not. Let's see. So now it's in this is ascending order. If I want to give the descending order, what I have to use? I'll use descending, DESC. Now I'll get it in descending order. He only want the top 10 in descending order. So I'll use top 10 here. So now I'll get top 10. And now my manager want to have the order by on the basis of their net worth. And he want to have top 10 like that. He want to order them on the basis of the net worth, and he want to give the first number to that person whose net worth is the highest. So I'll write here, I'm writing final worth. And he want top 10, so I'm using top 10 here, and here I'm using final worth. What I just said, whose worth is more, I want them to more. So I'll order them on the basis of descending order. You want to have top 10? Okay, so I have put this space by mistake. In my column name, no space was there. I got it. If I want to have top 5, I can do that. It's done. Now what my manager wants, so this is my last question. So he wants the count of billionaires. He wants to have the count of billionaires on the basis of their industries. Like he wants the count of billionaires in each industry. So what I have, so here you can see I have to group the things. So I'll use group by head. So how can I use it? So he want to have the, what do you want to have? You want to have the industries and the count of billionaire and the count of person name, right? And what do you want to do? You want to give group by them on the basis of their industries. Group by industries. So let's run it and see. So here I forgot to put the close bracket. So I got them. But here you can see I'm getting no column name. I don't want that. I want to give a column name. So how can I do it? I'll use a alias here. So I'm using as, and what name I want to give? I want to give the count of bill. Okay, bill. So now if I'll run it, you can see I got the count of bill here. So that's all for today's video. One question for you guys is that I want the industry and the count of billionaire on the basis of that, as well as I only want top 10 on the basis of their counts. Okay, like the whose counts are more, I want them to be above, whose counts are less, I want them below. So how can you do it? Let me know in the chat box. I'll provide you the answer right now. So group by industries, then I have to do the order by on the basis of their counts. So I'll use that. Control V. And I want them in descending order. So right now I'll get all the, on the basis of their count, I'll get count only. And I want top 10. So I'll use top 10 here. So I got only top 10. Hope you get this question. Thank you everyone for seeing till the end. If you enjoyed this video, to like it and subscribe our channel also. Thank you.